I would say most of our core friendships have like faith rooted like pretty deeply. Yeah. I also have watched Matthew, my husband, like really cultivate deep friendships with guys, like especially like some of his coworkers, and like the main thing they have in common is their faith. Like they'll just talk theology for hours.
All right. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm great. I'm liking this. I feel like it has the right amount of coffee in it.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So really quick, this is just the pumpkin spice with
blended with half sweet.
Nice. It's not gonna make me sick, but it's gonna give me.
It definitely tastes
caffeine.
less sweet in a good way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can taste the espresso.
But I was like, we can't sacrifice our whipped cream on top.
Yeah.
This
is our second fall drink of the season together. We did one a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
It was kind of tragic for Izzy.
It was.
Actually.
It was, because they no longer have the apple crisp oat milk, whatever.
It was some apple oat milk drink that they had last year, and you've been talking about it for like a couple months. You're like, that's what I'm getting when we go, like pulled up to the drive-thru.
Even Mitchell remembered it. Yeah. It was like, oh, we're gonna get your blah blah blah, and I was like, no, it's gone. Don't make me cry.
Yeah, so we had to pivot. I got a pumpkin chai.
Yeah.
And then I forget what you got, but you got the cold brew or something.
Yeah, something.
But
it was not as good.
Amazing.
This is good, though. Yeah, this is very good. And I can get behind this. Mm-hmm. But I'll have to recreate the apple one or whatever.
You totally should. Yeah. You totally could.
Fall is the best, though.
Yeah.
We're definitely vibed out in our fall attire.
Yes.
Like sweaters, boots,
When
skirts.
are you officially decorating? Because I came over last night and you had like a couple things.
Yeah, I already had some stuff. Well, I was like, I thought I had more stuff. Oh, I had a couple other things, but it just got
pillows and stuff too.
But they were just... And so I threw them all out.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I need to go shopping.
Maybe we need to go to TJ.
Do it. We need to go to TJ Maxx.
TJ Maxx, get a couple things.
Yeah.
Maybe I will tonight.
Do it.
Not do anything else.
Yeah.
I'm having a live coaching call with my community tonight, though. So we'll
Are
see how
you
that
really?
goes. Yeah, I just decided to do it. I was like, huh.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It's going to be exciting. So I'm very excited. Let's get to it. Oh my gosh. All right. I'm Izzy.
I'm Maggie.
And this is Long Game Podcast, where we talk all things faith, wellness, and relationships. Today we're kind of chatting about
friendships. We've been talking a lot about navigating making friends in your 20s and 30s, like post-college, what that looks like, how to do it, because I think it can be hard.
Yeah.
I think we've definitely experienced that, especially moving to a completely new community like we did.
Yes.
When we moved from California to Tennessee. Yeah. So I think it's something important to talk about. I think that we've been really conscious of it. But like just starting off, I kind of wanted to touch on like why it is so hard. Like I hear a lot of people talk about how hard it is to make friends as an adult post-college.
I think it's like initially the first thing I think it just really comes down to is it like insecurity. We're just afraid to put ourselves out there, because I actually once you with intention and reps, it comes pretty easy actually.
Yeah.
I think I didn't view it that way until more recently. You know,
did something shift for you, or you?
Yeah, because I think I just realized, like, even when we were talking last night, it's like, and we're gonna get into the plan for if you have no friends, how you should make friends, basically. Yeah. But like, I think it's just like we don't seek it out enough.
Yeah,
I think
like
we don't seek it. We think that it's just gonna happen. Someone's just gonna come to us. The reality is, most people are pretty closed off. We live in a very closed off society, actually. Like, we're not that friendly, you know?
We're so individualistic. We are not a collectivist society.
Yeah, we're not. We don't even live that way within our families and everything. Everything's separate.
Yeah.
And so I think that has a lot to do with it, because it's like, if you're living that way, then it's going to be really, really hard to make friends and connect and like.
That's so true. You know, I was remembering how we must have been like 19 or 20, but we made, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
I thought exactly what you're talking about.
This morning, we made a Bumble account.
Yes.
You can make a Bumble account to make friends. Like, I never used it as a dating app. The only experience I ever had with it was using it to make friends.
Yes.
There's like a setting on there.
Yes.
And you were like, we should make friends on Bumble.
We should make friends. Yeah, because I had come back for summer because I was rehabbing from a knee surgery. I think you had
Okay,
just
yeah.
come back from being a missionary. We
Yeah.
were back in our hometown.
So we were
And
19.
we didn't, we didn't want to be in like just like a bad because it was like you could go hang out with certain people. It was just going to be like house parties all the time and like weed and like just not the things that we wanted to do.
Our town was a big college town, and the college was a big party college. So it wasn't very conducive to making like meaningful, deep friendships.
There was
like it was
very much like party hookup kind of culture. It
Yeah.
was not appealing to either of us at all.
Right.
And it was hard to just find anyone who like wasn't in that realm.
Yep.
Wait, is that how we met our one friend? No, that's not how we met her.
Because
Okay.
I was like, have a lot of success with Bumble.
Okay, yeah. To be fair, we made 0 friends on Bumble.
I think we matched. Like, first of all, there weren't a lot of other people on there. Like a lot of other girls looking.
There was like
to be
4.
friends. There were like 4 options, and like I think we talked with one for like a couple messages back and forth, and just nothing came from it. But I was thinking about the fact that probably we like really had to seek it out, and we were aware of it.
Yeah.
Back then, and I feel like we have been since then, of just like how intentional you have to be with putting yourself out there.
Yes and it is hard in the sense that a lot of people are can oddly not be receptive because they're just like, and like there's been times where I've been like like I don't know, who are you, you know what I mean? Like we are that way. So it's like I don't know, should I?
So
you know, it's
that
super
is
weird.
the reaction though, just to be like like I feel like it should not be that hard.
It shouldn't be that
to
way.
make friends.
And
I shouldn't have that reaction.
But I've had that reaction. I've been like disappointed in myself. Like, wow, why wasn't I just so welcoming and like, let's be friends. I want to be that way. I want to be that way with everyone. You know?
Absolutely.
So, yeah. Okay. Next. I took over there. Do your thing.
No, we went on a good tangent. But I think absolutely it is hard. It is harder to make friends at this age because you're kind of outside of the college realm now, where you used to be surrounded by tons of peers.
It was
at the
easier
same
there.
age you are.
Okay, yeah.
So it's easier to make friends in college. But once you're outside of that, that's where I hear people say like they have difficulties making friends, because now I don't have a bunch of people the same age in that same phase of life around me. Now I need to go seek it out. How do I do that?
That is
so it's like,
so
where
good.
do you go to make friends?
Yes, 100%. Okay, so like obviously there's
Bumble.
This is episodes brought to you by Bumble. The friends version. No, so like you think about where are like-minded people already in the things that you're doing. So I think about the gym.
Yeah.
Because that's like already like fitness or whatever, church, faith-based, like those kinds of things. And now that I say that, I think like most of my friends that we know are from either of those 2 things.
Yep. Yeah.
And for me, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I was like, it is so, so wild. Like, I know you because of soccer.
That's so true.
I know, I think every single one of my friends that I've had for a long time because of soccer.
I remember you saying that a while ago.
Like,
how wild. I mean, that's really cool.
So cool.
That
like, I know all of my friends
has
because
brought
of
you
soccer.
really close friendships.
Yeah. Like, I know you, my best friend, like lifelong friend. We know Rachel because of soccer.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I know. That's one of our friends here in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Check out her music. Rachel Lee Roberts.
RLR.
Yeah.
Matthew always calls her
Lexi. Like, I know. Yeah, I know her because of soccer. Like, I know all of my friends, actually, almost all of them from soccer. So activities, I think, are really, really good. Obviously, we know Mitchell from the gym. Like, that's where we met. We made a good friend group there.
Yeah.
What was your question?
No, like, where do you go to meet people? And exactly that. And I remember when we first moved to Tennessee.
Yes, let's talk about that.
I mean, it was during COVID, which was a whole other variable when it came to making friends. And I think it was that much harder for us because of that.
Yeah.
There just weren't as many activities and group settings going on. So I think that took longer. But I remember getting involved with my church pretty soon after we moved. Like, I found a church, started volunteering there, met a lot of great ladies, and just feeling connected. Like, it's not like I stay in touch with all of them because I volunteered for a couple years and haven't for a while now. So it's not like I stayed in touch, but just like getting plugged plugged in.
Yeah.
They might not be like your lifelong friends, but it, again, friends for a season, for a reason, for a lifetime. Like, it depends on why they're in your life. But yeah, intentionally plugging in.
Dude, and I just thought about something when you were saying this that I'm really passionate about. You need to view yourself as a leader. View yourself as a leader when it comes to making friends and creating that. Because the problem is, too, is our expectation is that, and I remember realizing this when we moved into the house that Mitchell and I live in.
Yeah.
And there was no response from the neighbors when we moved in.
Yeah.
And like sometimes you think like, you know, you just moved in, like you would think that your neighbors or whatever. And I was like, I need to be a leader in this and cultivate this. They didn't come to me, and I shouldn't expect that from them. And so it's like, be a leader in your relationships, in your friendships, even if it's like you feel like you're coming into the circle and you feel like, people should be like seeking you out and trying to connect with you. I just think people aren't taught to do that. They don't know how to do that.
Yeah, we expect other people to initiate.
We expect people, and then the biggest relationship that I see people do this with, that I've done this with, is our relationship with Jesus. We treat it like, and it's like, man, when you really look at that friendship, would I go into any kind of relationship and go, all right, what do you have to offer me? How good of a friend are you going to be? What are you going to get me? How are you going to show? No, that would never be a good start to any relationship. It's us contributing and seeking it out. Yeah. That makes the biggest difference.
Right. That's an actual relationship.
That's an actual relationship. And I think the expectation needs to be changed a little bit. Like, okay, maybe I'm not just going to feel welcome right away and like, this is going to be awesome. Like, I got to make the first move here.
Yep. Yeah.
And you got to be bold with it. And we realized that when we moved here, I think we were almost a year in, I think. And we really started doing stuff with the UFC gym and like trying to and we realized like we really needed to be the hosts.
Yeah. And what a gift that is to be able to be host, to be able to bring people together and be that physical space or those initiators. I think you've always been really amazing. I mean, since you were like a teenager, like probably before you're a teenager, like 10 years old, like planning like get-togethers and parties for all of our friends and making phone calls literally on like our landline and being like, you know,
we're having a party. Yeah.
We're having a party, 7 p.m. Bring Doritos.
Bring Doritos and Mountain Dew.
And Mountain Dew, literally. But I think you've always been great at that. And I think you've helped me to be more like that too. And I think especially moving to Tennessee, recognizing our need for a community and being like, we need to make this ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think like on the flip side, we had really incredible like families and people who welcomed us and who we got to know and who did that exact thing for us. But we also realized that we could be that for other people, kind of like share that goodness.
Yeah. I think about those families that we initially nannied for too, like Ashley and Ryan, like their daughter Holland was my flower girl.
Yeah.
And they moved sadly, like I think like a year or two after we got here, but I've gone out and visited them in Florida. Like they've come back, like made like really deep connections.
Yeah.
And I think also just like taking people up on when they invite you to something.
That's a great point.
You have to go, even if you're like, half the time you're not going to feel like it. Because you're like, I don't know why we have a huge resistance to doing those things, but most people do. It's just like, it's like, just go.
Yep.
Do the thing, even if you don't feel like it. I think about too, like Mike Daly and Chris, like there's multiple things that that was really great for us too. Like to just go over and be like, yes, I have that sense of family, that sense of community. Yeah. Going over, being a part of something. And even if it feels a little uncomfortable in the beginning, that's totally okay.
Right.
That's pretty normal.
I think you need to be okay with that though, because I think that there is, for some reason, like an immediate aversion that most of us have to hanging out with new people or going out in group settings. Like I see memes every day about that. Like, oh, now I have to go to the plans that I made 2 weeks ago when I was feeling extroverted. Like, oh no. And that's fair. Like, that's a fair feeling. But I think we really need to push through that and I feel that all the time. Like, oh, I do not want to go out to dinner tonight, you know. But once I do, I'm really glad that I did. Like, deepen my friendships or relationships. Like, I don't regret it typically.
Yeah.
Unless it was like
and then if you do regret it, then you know it's probably not the right people to hang out with.
Yeah. Yeah.
But even like it was us last week, we both had a crazy busy day, went nonstop, but we still committed to have like our girls' night. We try and hang out one-on-one without our husbands.
Yeah.
Pretty much once a week.
Yeah.
And I was exhausted. We hadn't connected all day, but I was like, nope, get in the car, drive over to Maggie's, get there. And you had just as long of a day, but we had the best time.
We did. It was so awesome.
We did it anyways. We didn't even think about it. It was just like, yep. We're committed. We're going to hang out. We're going to do it.
So worthwhile.
Yeah.
We were talking about that too. Like those deep, close friendships that you make, you know, like it's so therapeutic to talk things out. Like so often I don't need a therapy session. I need to just talk to my close friends. Like I need to talk to you, talk it out, hear your advice, hear your wisdom, hear your feedback. Yeah. And I feel so much better after. Yeah. That happens pretty much every time we hang out one-on-one.
Yeah. We hung out last night.
Yeah. FYI.
But it literally is like after we hang out, I feel energized every time.
Yeah.
And that's like, if you don't feel energized afterwards or like at least, but like you can still feel like socially drained, you know, and be like, no, I'm ready for my alone time. But like, you shouldn't be feeling worse after hanging out with people.
Yeah.
If you do, then get a different group. And that's a thing too, actually, when we first moved here, there were a couple times where we tried, I was like, all right, we're going to go hang out with these random people. And we did it. And it was just like, that was not the right, but at least we tried.
Yep. Yeah.
Now we have the information. That's not who we want to hang out with.
Right.
And I think you got to be okay with doing that and then realizing, nope, that was not the right one.
Right.
And then trying a different group, you know?
Yeah, completely agreed. I think there's some obstacles. I think one of them is just like the initial aversion to like wanting to hang out with new people. That's one obstacle, like when it comes to making new friends as an adult. I think another one can be schedule too. Like I've found that there are times when there's someone I really want to hang out with. I know that they do too. And we like toss out like 4 different dates. None of them work. So like busyness is definitely a factor. What else do you think as far as like obstacles when it comes to making friends? Are there any that come to mind?
I think like just not realizing that it should be a priority. So the obstacle is thinking that it's not important. And thinking that it like doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
when we are social creatures and it's actually, we thrive on connection. It's very important for us. So I think the obstacle is just thinking like, oh, I don't need to prioritize that. Yeah. And I think like, how can you work people into the things that you already do? Yeah. Like, you know, like I've made friends at the gym, you know, too, just because I go and like, I think too with girls, it's actually really easy if you just go up to a girl. And yeah, I've had some ones be like weird or standoffish or like make me feel like, okay,
not receptive.
That was not great. Sure. But you just go and you just give them a genuine compliment. Yeah. And then you connect. Most girls are like awesome and are like, yeah, awesome, like great. Like I made a friend, Zoe, like through that. I just went up to her. I was like, your back is ripped, man. Like you look awesome, you know?
That's awesome.
And then we were friends. Yeah, and then we went out to lunch and then it was like, yeah. And then, you know, and then that's just how it happens. But
that's really cool.
I think you got to try and realize how important it is. Yeah. And then you have to be willing to commit too. I think people don't realize, like, don't commit to things. Yeah. Too.
Yeah.
Like
and we've talked about the flakiness. And then if you do, for some reason, have to cancel or something, like we've talked about how important it is to follow up with another date. Like, hey, like, I'm so sorry I can't make this. Yeah. Like we had scheduled, like, can we please like hang out on this date instead? Yes. Like, does that work for you? Yes. Because I think otherwise, if you just cancel, it can kind of feel like, oh, maybe you just don't want to hang out on the receiving end of that cancellation sometimes, especially if it's a newer friendship. So I think that's really helpful, but prioritizing it too, recognizing how important deep friendships are. Yeah. Like I was reading a study as I was prepping for this, and it was just talking about like the longevity benefits of strong social connections, like lower blood pressure, like lower risk of depression, so many major things that come with having strong, like deep friendships, not just shallow ones, like being very intentional about cultivating the real friendships. Yeah. And we do crave that too.
Yeah. And it's like, well, when you think about what were you not going to do or what were you going to do instead of hanging out with that friend, it's like you're going to binge your TV show or scroll on TikTok. Yeah. It's like, that's meaningless.
How unfulfilling.
When you really think about that, it's like, man, instead I would rather just sit alone. And people talk about that all the time and say like, no, I just want to go and I want to binge my show and I just want to scroll. I want to, like, I hear people say in a positive way, like, I want to just go doom scroll. I just want to go do that. I'm like, you probably got to look at that. That's self-sabotage actually, because you know it's going to make you feel terrible afterwards.
Yeah.
Versus going and getting in front of people and hanging out with people and like having conversations.
Yeah. And I think the reason so often that I hear people say like, I'm just going to go like lay down on the couch, not do anything, is like, I'm so tired. Like I worked all day. I don't have the energy. And at a certain point, it's like, all right, it's like you did right before the episode, like tap yourself or like get hyped up or listen to your favorite song, like do what it takes. Like you were saying, prioritize it and actually follow through.
Energy is not a noun, it's a verb. Like it's not something you have, it's something you do.
Yeah.
You do the energy, you generate the energy, you create the energy. People say, oh, I don't have energy. Yeah. What did you do to create it? Nothing. Get up, move, be an energy generator. And people who are leaders are energy generators. Like they come into whatever space it is. And it's like, even preparing your energy, I think about a lot before I come into my home. If like Mitchell's home and I'm not, I need to take that second and prepare my energy. I'm going to have positive energy when I step into my home and interact with my husband and like my family.
Wow.
I'm not going to step into this home drained. And like, oh, every now and then, like, yeah, that happens. You just have like a bad day.
Yeah.
You know, but that should never, you should not be coming home consistently like,
man, because that the other person feels that. Everyone else feels that.
Take your time, generate the energy. And it's one of those things where you have to move. You have to move. You have to move.
You know what doesn't generate energy?
Scrolling.
Doom scrolling. Yeah. Sitting on the couch binging. Like that's not gonna benefit your energy levels at all.
At all.
Yeah.
At all. It will take the last little bit of life from you.
Yep.
Like you have to move.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even have to be anything crazy, but yeah, the amount of time spent, and I know people who have recently said this to me, like, no, I just go and I'll just scroll for like 3 to 4 hours at night until I'm like done for the night. I'm like, ooh, that's can't.
Yeah.
Why do you feel like you deserve that, you know?
Yeah.
Because you don't, and that's a really bad thing to do to yourself. Consistently. Especially.
I agree. Do you think, like, speaking of scrolling, social media, like how does that play a role with making friends? Harm or help?
Dude, honestly, I have made awesome friends on Instagram.
I was thinking about that.
I have made multiple friends on, like, close like pillars, like really cool people.
Yeah.
Through Instagram.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah. I really like that. Yeah.
How has that like happened? Like, have you reached out to them, or like how does that?
It's been both.
Start,
and then it's just like, you know,
you see
people
something
are like, oh, let's
like,
go. It's just
out.
like, yeah, let's just FaceTime. Let's just FaceTime.
Okay, nice. So that's how you take the next step, taking it from like social media to like FaceTime or a phone call.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's actually talk here for a second and let's just connect.
Yeah.
And just see. And you'll tell really early on whether you're going to be able to connect with this person or not. But I've made numerous connections on Instagram that have been really impactful in my life.
Yeah.
And people that like, literally on my way over, I met a friend through Instagram and we were FaceTiming, and we've been friends for like 2.5 years now.
Wow.
And we FaceTime a couple times a week.
That's awesome. I love that. Yeah, I think
it's great. And we've never met in person.
Such a helpful tool. Wow.
Yeah.
Where are they?
She's in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
Shout out to Pri. Yeah, she's got kids and everything.
Yeah.
But we like have similar businesses and stuff. And yeah, and we connect. The other one was Delaney. I met her on Instagram.
Yeah.
And we met for the first time like last month in person.
Wow.
We've known each other for 2 years.
That's really cool.
I've met really cool friends on
So social media, no, I completely agree. I think it can be a great tool to meet people.
Yeah.
But then, I mean, there's also the other side where it's like, now I'm just going to scroll on social media instead of going out and like connecting with people in person. So it completely depends on how you use it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't think I've had any real, I would say I'm probably not that common. I'm probably not like the common wave people on Instagram when friends and stuff like that. But I don't think I've had any like negative
No, and I think it's also
stuff.
probably the roadblock is getting your friendship off social media from where you met to actually talking on the phone or something and not letting it fizzle out there. So I like that you said that, like, let's just FaceTime.
Yeah,
like, let's
that's
just
my
talk.
number one. Boom, FaceTime or like voice memos.
Yeah.
I'm a huge voice
Yeah,
memo.
you
girl.
are. You totally are.
I'm just like, so what's up? And my friend Brittany sent me a 5-minute voice message on text yesterday. And she was like, oh, so sorry. It was long. I was like, dude, don't apologize. I listened to it like it's a podcast while I'm like doing my things legitimately. I'm like, perfect. Okay, she's saying that. Like, I love
that. It reminds me. So one of my really good friends is in Ireland, Melissa.
Yeah.
And so we have like I don't even know, like an 8-hour time difference or something.
Yeah.
So it's often like really hard to talk on the phone. So we just send like really long. So she'll send me like 11-minute voice messages. And I'm like, all right, on my drive, I'm going to listen to this and like, I'm going to unpack all of it. And then I'll send one back. And she'll always be like, dude, yours are so short. Like, send back more. So I'm always working on. I'll send her a long one and be like, you'll be so proud. This was 6 minutes long. But that's how we've been keeping up. That's the best way for us because, I mean, she has a toddler right now. It's really hard to connect. So on like FaceTime. So being able to use voice message is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's how we've maintained our friendship. And I think I also want to talk about that because you're so good at maintaining friendships.
Thank you.
I feel like
that's a great compliment. I love that compliment.
Yeah, because you're so intentional about it. I mean, you have a lot. I would say a lot of lifelong friends. For
I do.
That's rare.
It is.
I think. So talk about that.
Cool.
How do you do that?
How does she
do it all?
I think it's something I'm naturally just inclined to.
Yeah.
That's the role I played in my family growing up.
Yeah.
Was how can I draw
You were that initiator.
Together. I was
always.
the initiator.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it's just like how I'm kind of conditioned to be, and I like to be that way.
It's such a gift.
And I think I've always liked to just, and I used to do it a lot when I was younger too. I would just go through all of my contacts. I didn't have that many at the time too. And I would just go and just send like positive, inspirational texts individually to people.
I would get, good morning, this will be the best day from you text like all the time.
Yeah, literally. So I think I like to do that. Mm-hmm. I like to check in on people. I like people to feel that, I have thought about them. And I genuinely want to know how they're doing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of natural. Like I don't think about it that much. And it's just intentional.
Right.
And I think we talked about this too. It's like really using your drive time intentionally is a huge piece. So if I'm driving somewhere, it's literally just like that's a catch up time. Mm-hmm. Like, who can I call to check in on and see? And it's just like, just go down the list. And it's like, what? Am I going to use that time to just like listen to music instead or whatever? It's like, I could use this time to try and connect with an actual person.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and do that. I'm going to connect with an actual person and I do that all the time.
Yeah, exactly. Because otherwise that connection might not happen at all. Like my mom knows now, like I'll call her and she'll be like, are you driving somewhere? And it's like, that's the best time for me to talk to her. Like I know that I have like 30 minutes of uninterrupted time to chat.
Yeah. And it's just like, pick up the phone and call.
Yeah.
And when you think about the person, just text them. Like I had a dream last night about a teammate. She was and I haven't seen this girl in like 4 years. And I had a dream about her. And we haven't talked in at least 2 years. I just straight sent her a text. Hey, I had the funniest dream about you last night. And then we got to go back and forth and like connect for a little bit. So when you just think about the person, just tell them that.
Right.
And then just connect for a second. And it's always like it's like, oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
So-and-so texted me,
Right.
And then I think also like I've gone through phases too, I think, where just like different prayer lists, different people you're praying for. And it's like, it's really easy to then have that list and be like, okay, now I'm just going to call all these people or text them and be like, hey, just so you know, you were on this list and I prayed for you about this morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So. I feel like all of your advice, and I really like it, is coming back to like, you need to initiate. Like you
be a leader.
You need to be a leader. Yeah. In friendships.
And you need to be okay getting burned too.
Yeah.
You need to be okay getting burned and people like not being intentional with you and people, I'm a very sensitive person. So I've gotten my feelings hurt doing this,
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm like, throw me back in. Let me get burned again. Like Maggie knows that about me. I'm like,
You're like, it's okay.
I
can take it.
I get a little bit hurt, and then I'm like, all right, whatever. No, because I still want to be that person.
Yeah.
So I think it's just like God kind of made me that way.
Yeah, I really like that. I think that's something I want to work on too, because my inclination is to like, be like, I don't really want to go out to dinner with whoever tonight, but I don't regret it when I do, when it's quality people that I'm spending time with. But I think that's such great advice. We just need to be initiators.
Initiate.
What do you think is essential for deep, meaningful friendships? And also, are there like certain things that you look for now in your mid-20s when you're making new friends?
Yeah. I think number one, I think like there is in a certain language, I forget what it was, but I listened to it not that long ago. Friendship meant side-by-side growth. And so you have, like, I really view a good friendship as something that you can grow together.
Yeah.
And so I think you cannot grow without honesty. And so I look for someone who's going to be honest.
Yeah.
Honest with me, honest with themselves, honest with where they're at, and someone who's willing to talk about things.
Yeah.
If you can't, and I know I've said this before, but if someone can't talk about it, you cannot fix any problems.
Right.
You can't.
You're at an impasse, yeah.
You'll never be able, and even someone who's more like you, who has been in the past very non-confrontational.
Yeah.
You would still have the conversation with me.
Right.
You would hate it.
Didn't like
very
it.
Very uncomfortable. You would still do it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be like, you know what? No, I'm uncomfortable. I'm not speaking to you anymore.
Because I think, at least I knew if I didn't do that, then our friendship would start to decline.
Yeah. Because you didn't
that's
talk.
Just the reality.
Yeah, you didn't talk about it. So you have to, I think you have to be able to just talk about things.
Yeah.
And I know we've spoken about this before. When you have that thing in the back of your head that like, there's always going to be things that come up and you're going to question it and be like, wait, were they being passive with me or was that a thing? Just put it out, because it's so rare that anyone actually was.
Yep.
And then if they were, then you're like, yeah, I guess I was being kind of passive aggressive. Sorry about that. That was weird. Let's move on,
Right, yeah.
But just really actually talking about it.
Be direct.
Be direct. Yeah, honesty. Be like if your feelings are hurt, just be honest.
Yeah.
Don't fester in that and go gossip to another friend about it. Just be like, dude, this actually really hurt my feelings.
Yeah.
And I know like maybe I'm a little bit sensitive, but I don't know. I just feel kind of hurt by this. Usually someone's going to be like, oh, shoot, sorry that hurt you,
Right, yeah.
Versus getting like mad about it. I
agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think?
As far as like finding meaningful friendships
and like the pillars of it, like what do you think something that is really important for a meaningful friendship? Like you can't really have one if you don't have this.
Right. I would say most of our core friendships have like faith rooted like pretty deeply. Yeah. I would say most of mine. I also have watched Matthew, my husband, like really cultivate deep friendships with guys, like especially like some of his coworkers, and like the main thing they have in common is their faith. Like they'll just talk theology for hours, and like he has thrived because of that. Like I've really watched like his faith blossom a lot because of those friendships. So I think that if you are really serious about your faith, like that's so important. Not to say that you can't be friends with someone who isn't, at that same level, but I just like look at our friendship and I know that my faith would not be where it is were it not for our friendship. Like because you were so influential early on, because our peers shape so much. Like I would not have stayed true to my faith if I'd had a best friend that hadn't been strong in their faith too. And we've gone through our phases of like what our faith looks like.
Yeah, of course.
But we never let that go.
Yeah.
You never let that go, and you've been so passionate about it. And I'm really grateful for that. And I look at like friends and people close to me that have fallen away from their faith, and I feel like so much of it can be attributed to the people that they were around.
Yeah.
And we hear you're the combination of like the four or five people you hang out with the most.
Yeah.
I think that's really true. And you especially think about your faith.
Yes.
If you are not around people who are prioritizing their faith, if that's not the people you're spending time with, I feel like your faith is going to take a dip. It's going to be so much harder to stay strong in your faith.
Yeah, this brings up a really good thought for me too. And I know we spoke about this before as well, but when you're interacting with someone, there's two pieces of like friendship, like this kind of growth. And then there's like for me, like mentorship friendship and influence where I'm trying to mentor and influence someone.
Yeah.
And I think there's also seasons in your life where that's not the realm that you're in. You know, because if you're easily influenced, you shouldn't be hanging out with someone who is a bad influence.
Yeah.
And I think I had very strong boundaries with that when I was, you know, in high school and college, in my opinion, too strong, because I never interacted with like anyone that I felt to any degree could like influence me negatively. And I regret some of the way that I handle that because I had a chance to like impact some people that I didn't. But I actually think that's a really good thing to have. And you need to realize when someone is a negative influence on you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you can give people the opportunity to come up and come into your world and be like, hey, I'm not going to partake in that or hang out that way, but I would love for you to come into this world and like hang out like this. I would still like to spend time with you. But as far as interacting this way, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
And you will lose friendships doing that. And people will be like, nope. And you're like, okay. And usually it's for the better because there are some people who it's just like, man, this is really bad. Like, this is very bad influence on me.
Yeah, and I think we both have seen that where there are certain friendships where we've just grown apart because we have changed, but we haven't, like you said, grown together or changed together. We've changed in different directions.
Yeah.
And so there are some friendships that you kind of, I think, have to let go of.
Yes.
And you don't necessarily need to maintain every single friendship that you initially started.
Yeah.
Again, it's for a season sometimes.
Yeah.
And I think that's really crucial to have discernment there.
Yeah, and it's tough.
Yeah.
And it's tough, too.
Yeah.
It's tough when you have to just, like, let something or someone go.
Yeah, there's sometimes guilt there for me, too. I'm like, man, like, I feel like, should I reach out to this person? But it's like, I don't truly desire that, honestly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't truly desire to hang out with them. It's mostly just the guilt of, like, I kind of, like, have let this go. But I think knowing yourself and that awareness, like, knowing, like, actually, this is not a fruitful friendship.
Yeah, and notice who you're influenced by versus who you influence.
Yeah.
And I feel like when I was younger, I was obviously by like our older brothers and stuff. I was influenced by those guys until a certain point, and I was like, actually, I'm putting up major boundaries here.
Yeah.
But, you know, other than that, most of my friends, I felt like I actually did influence. But I did have one friend, and I was like, man, I am very influenced by her. Like, I really care about like what she thinks of me, and I want to be like cool with her and everything.
Yeah.
And when I realized that, I was like, oh wow. And is this in a good way? I was like, no, it's not. And so I was like, either I do two things. I choose to influence her and again be like, hey, I'm not doing these things, but I'll interact this way, or I need to cut this out and I need to see if I can do that. And instead, I just had the hard boundaries and like, this is how we're interacting, and I'm not doing any of this. And she took it really well and was like totally fine with that.
That's awesome.
But it was hard because I was like, oh, whoa, I'm totally like influenced by this person.
Yeah.
And you know how you just have that, there's certain people, you know?
Totally. Yeah.
I think,
and that's a big thing to think about. Like, who do I influence? And like, what am I saying? You know?
Yes.
Like that's powerful.
Yeah.
There's power in that. Like, you have some power
like,
to influence. Yeah. It makes you think like, what am I saying? How am I presenting myself?
Yeah.
How does this impact someone else?
Yeah. And I do want to circle back to what we started just for someone who maybe is listening to this because they're like, man, I don't have a community. I'd move somewhere. Like we went through that. We know how hard that is. You really have to just like be very intentional, try very hard.
Yeah.
Try all the things. Do it when you don't want to do it. Go to the thing that was awkward. Follow up on the coffee date. Follow up on the dinner date. Reach out and be a leader. Like, don't expect people to come to you because oftentimes they just won't.
Yeah.
They don't even know how.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing. Doesn't mean they don't like you. We're just not taught it. And so we need to be, you know, cultivators in our society and people who do lead in that and show people how to create community, seek people out, seek friendships out. Because, I mean, I love, like, it's so cool to have community that we get to hang out with.
Yeah.
Like,
it's a gift. Like, when we're able to host, it's a gift to have people who host us.
Yeah.
And I think I appreciate our community so much because we really know what it's like to have to build it from ground zero.
Yes.
So I'm really grateful for
I
it.
never want to do that again.
And no, I'm staying here.
Yeah.
But I also think like busyness doesn't have to be a reason, and it shouldn't be an excuse to not make friends. I think we both have very busy lives, and I think if you have someone who is like perpetually busy and who isn't making time for you, maybe they're not prioritizing your friendship the way they need to. But I feel like you can always find time, even if it's like a month or two in advance that you have to put it on the calendar.
Yeah.
I think you can get it on the calendar. I think you can do it.
Yeah. And also it's like, you want to find your time, pull out the phone. Pull out the phone, look at your screen time.
Yeah.
Look at your screen time on your socials. Look at, like, go. There's your time. You don't have it, you have it. I promise you have it.
Yes.
You do. That's a reality. You do.
Yeah.
And you have to prioritize it because we're meant for community. we really are. Like, we are so on like the social media stuff, but not on the like in-person stuff. So like get in person, connect, have real conversations, phone calls, FaceTimes, all the things.
Agreed.
So, yeah.
Great combo.
Great combo. Did you have another question or no?
Yeah, we can keep
okay.
going.
I was like,
for sure. I was like, it feels like a good stopping point, but I do have more. I think one of my questions, and I feel like this is something that didn't come as naturally to me, but like, how do you be that initiator? Like, how do you get a group together? Like, how do you host? Like, because it feels daunting. I think it can feel really daunting to be that initiator sometimes.
Yeah. I think if you have a buddy you can go in and plan it with, like we did with each other, that's going to make it so much easier. And then you just got to like ask the people that sometimes you're not even sure about, like when we have parties and get together stuff, we have all kinds of age ranges. We have people who are like their early 20s and people who are in their 60s and 70s there.
Yeah.
We just invite everyone.
I also think it's so helpful, especially if you're like introducing a new friend or a new couple or whatever into the group, have activities. Activities make it so much less awkward. We honestly need to do like a whole
party planning, like what you need to do.
Yes. I love activities. It makes me feel way more calm and like less stressed when I'm inviting people over because I'm like, I have these activities, these games on deck. So it never feels like, oh, we just have to sit in the living room in a circle and like talk. And sometimes like if that happens organically, that's amazing.
Great. Yeah.
But sometimes you need some games
literally
and activities.
Cornhole. That has been one of our main things. Like cornhole is huge.
Salad bowl where you like act out like some sort of like charades. Yeah. Game is so easy.
Activities.
Like, something you can just make whip up really quick.
Have some games.
Yeah.
And you can literally just invite people over for like a game night.
Yeah.
People are super down to be like, oh, I'll
make
do a
it
game.
really easy. Have everyone bring a snack. Then you don't have to make a whole meal.
Yeah.
Because sometimes that feels like a lot
like,
too.
oh my gosh, it's going to be really expensive. And how do I, yeah, everyone just brings something to share.
Yeah.
And then I'm so excited for our fall party, by the way.
I know. I'm starting to, this is reminding me of it.
Yeah, it's going to be fun.
Talking about it last night.
It's going to be fun. Yeah. So just go out there, put yourself out there, be a leader and seek it out. Be intentional. Don't think that this is something that you don't need in your life, that you don't have to have in your life. Like, it is really important for us to have community, have meaningful friendships where you can actually grow and be real with each other.
Yeah.
So,
100%.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Clink. Clink. Awesome.